I'm gonna be recommending The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien in 3 minutes. No writer in the history of the English language has ever created as complete a world as Tolkien did with Middle-earth, a realm designed as a version of our own world in a forgotten era. Now, Tolkien mapped out elaborate geographies and built richly detailed civilizations. I mean, the man even invented languages for his characters, drawing on Northern European languages like Finnish and Welsh, and in his day job, he was an Oxford professor, an esteemed scholar in Anglo-Saxon and related languages and cultures, and it shows. The Lord of the Rings and his other works channel the fundamental archetypes of high fantasy so well that he's often considered the very source of those archetypes, though these are actually found much deeper in culture. But regardless, every work of fantasy that came later, things like Harry Potter, Star Wars, even Dungeons and Dragons, owes a great debt to Tolkien's brilliant imagination. But there's some people that figure that his work is likely too dated to be enjoyable now, and they don't even give it a chance. Don't be one of these people. The thing is, he didn't just write a story, he created an entire world. Middle-earth, from the cozy Shire to the majestic Gondor, feels tangible. He enriched each civilization with depth and history, adding layers to everything. There is so much depth that he gave to the cultures, it is incredible. But he writes with so much love and delight for even the smallest things in his world. I mean, he included an entire section of prologue on the history of pipeweed, and we love it because we see the passion that he poured into all the details. Now, his attention to detail might slow the pacing a little bit, but it enhances the immersive, cozy feel of his writing. I mean, it feels like you're experiencing a grand adventure, something of mythic proportions, and that's because you are. In my experience, there's just something about Middle-earth that I don't think you can find elsewhere in other books. But it isn't just the world building, it's the characters and their journeys that breathe life into the story. Take, for example, Frodo Baggins, the perfect example of the reluctant hero. And Frodo's transformation from a simple hobbit of the Shire into the bearer of the most dangerous artifact in Middle-earth is that classic hero's journey, but with a unique twist. Unlike many traditional heroes who grow in power and confidence, Frodo becomes more burdened and weary. He's a perfect commentary on the toll of heroism. And then there's the loyal and courageous Samwise Gamgee, whose steadfast support and down-to-earth wisdom often provide like an emotional anchor to Frodo and the reader. Sam's growth from a humble gardener to a hero in his own right is one of the most satisfying arcs in the entire series. Legolas and Gimli go from a mutual distrust to a really deep friendship across cultural and historical divides, and this really illustrates the power of friendship and understanding to overcome centuries of prejudice. Now, Tolkien's language is a little archaic, but it is very evocative, and it reinforces that timeless nature of the story. His prose often takes on the quality of an epic poem, which, while it does affect the pacing, it does cement the saga's place as a mythic retelling of good versus evil, sacrifice, and friendship. If you've been holding off reading it, you need to change that immediately. And time! Let me know if you've read The Lord of the Rings. I feel like a lot of people still haven't read this classic, and it is still worth reading. It still holds up so well.